Karen's Halloween costume is the Wicked Witch of the West. She has green skin in the book, but not on the cover. I don't know why. I think that would make for a much better cover. I mean, look! Isn't that way cooler?
Arglefonf Book Review, Arglefonf Book Review.
Karen scares herself by reading Halloween books before bedtime. She can't go to sleep, so she thinks about Ben Brewer. That's the ghost which haunts her attic. Karen mentions him often enough in the Babysitters Club series. It's a surprise he hasn't come up in the Little Sister series until now. The story of Ben Brewer is that he ate fried dandelions and never left the house. He was haunted by the ghost of someone for some reason. And when he died, he became a ghost himself because, I don't know. Yeah, there are a lot of holes in the story. Karen's friends think the story is more confusing than scary. Karen wants to get the full version of the Ben Brewer ghost story because they're telling ghost stories in school this year. Karen should ask her dad because it's his story. He's the one who told it to her. He's probably the only person in this house who's actually met Ben Brewer. Instead of asking Dad, Karen asks her mom, who doesn't know the story and doesn't want to talk about it. So Karen goes to Kristy, who also doesn't know the story. They explore Ben's bedroom. They find the diary of Karen's dead grandfather, Jeremy. This is a continuity mistake. In the graphic novels, Watson's father is still alive. Or at least he attended Watson's wedding in graphic novel number 6. I guess it's possible this isn't a mistake. Maybe Jeremy snuck upstairs during the wedding, hid this diary here for Karen to find, and then he dropped dead the next day. While making pictures for this video, I realized the graphic novel doesn't have any pictures of Ben or Jeremy. It's a ghost story which never shows the ghost. That's disappointing. The diary says Ben had a big Halloween birthday party every 10 years. The rest of the book says, I don't know. Karen doesn't bother to read the diary because it's in cursive. Cursive handwriting is way too much work to read. Sounds to me like Karen's being lazy. Karen brags about the diary and the ghost that scares her brother and upsets her mother. At school, the kids decide they'll go trick-or-treating as a group. Everybody will dress as a character from The Wizard of Oz. Except Hanny. Hanny would rather go as a bride. I'm surprised Karen's okay with this. Normally, Karen would throw a huge temper tantrum and demand to speak to the manager because Hanny is ruining their theme for no reason. The kids get their costumes. Pamela and her friends make the most grown-up costumes they can think of, which are rock star, flight attendant, and waitress. They should have gone with good-looking YouTuber costumes. That's what I do on Halloween. They tell the scary stories in school. Since Karen didn't read the diary, she's forced to make up a story about Ben. Everybody's scared, except for Pamela, the snob. The kids have fun trick-or-treating. When Karen goes to bed that night, she thinks her ghost story is real. She can smell cake. She hears strange laughing and thumping noises from upstairs. She goes upstairs to check. She sees Charlie having a wild teenager party. I'm just joking. Karen goes to sleep instead of doing anything. The next morning, she's told the noise was big kids making mischief. I liked my version of the story better. Also, Elizabeth baked the cake at midnight. That's something perfectly normal people do all the time. Karen finds the diary on her desk. It's open to a page that explains Ben was haunted by the ghost of his friend, Edward Porter. Edward drowns shortly before Ben's 10th birthday. That's why Ben had a big party every 10 years. Karen is not sure how the diary ended up on her desk. Maybe the ghost is real after all. I don't know. I was distracted because the book uses the word Dalmatians twice. They spell it differently both times. Maybe Karen's haunted by the ghost of bad spelling. The end. Postbook follow-up. I didn't like this book. It annoys me that most of the book is about getting the diary for the scary story, only Karen never reads the diary. What was the point of Karen trying to learn Ben's real story when she just makes one up? Not to mention, I found the real version of the scary story to be a bit of a letdown. It's not as good as Karen's made-up story. The rest of the book is getting costumes and trick-or-treating, which is generic Halloween stuff. Get prepared for books with generic holiday activities, because the next 4 books in the series are holiday-themed. In Graphic Novel 9, I noticed 3 of the kids in Karen's class had been replaced by all new characters. In this graphic novel, Pamela is now sitting at the table with the new kids. The class continues to have 16 kids overall. Pamela has replaced a student named Marie E. What happened to Marie? I don't know who she is, but I still wonder what happened to her. Overall, I found this to be a generic Halloween book, which had the potential to be scary if Karen hadn't gotten bored with learning Ben's story halfway through. The book also drops the ball on the idea that there's a ghost party happening upstairs. Maybe if that was a full-fledged story, instead of Karen heard some noises before going to sleep, that would have been better. Kristy seems uncharacteristically timid in this book, but I am willing to overlook that as how Karen thinks Kristy acted, not how Kristy actually acted. I give Babysitter's Little Sister graphic novel number 11, Karen's Ghost, a thumbs down.